The Shark Deck.
I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Jimmy Fallon was joking about the spy balloon. He said, yeah, they were tracking all our communications, including phone calls and text messages. The balloon was like, based on what we've gathered, we should invest in eggplants. That's really funny. Think about it. Fallon. Meanwhile, AT&T told their customers, relax, they can't spy on you if you can't get a signal. You know what I'm saying? Pretty good Super Bowl, huh? Did you see the ad for the roast of Mr. Peanut? Well, I went and watched the entire roast of Mr. Peanut, and I shared it in the Facebook group, Daily Comedy News Podcast group. Can I tell you? It's 11 minutes long. It's pretty funny. I actually have added it to my top funny things of 2023 list, and as I'll tell you later in the pod, I didn't add Marc Maron's new special. It's pretty good. Nice job, Jeff Ross and the team. Some YouTube commenters disagree with Johnny Mac. One wrote, kept waiting to laugh and then didn't. We have some world-class comedians debasing themselves for G-rated jokes. Another said, a studio with 30 bad actors hysterically laughing at unfunny non-jokes taken from a children's book. I thought it was pretty good. There's one joke in there that takes a shot at Jeff Ross that genuinely made me laugh. Now, who's on the roast of Mr. Peanut? Jeff Ross, Natasha Leggero, Atsuko Okatsuka, who crushes. Trust me. Frank Castillo, Yamanika Saunders, David Lucas, and Sarah Tiana. She was not good, but she's last. They put this thing in the proper order. Jeff Ross comes up in the strong, Natasha strong, Atsuko's strong, and then it starts to peter off a little bit. But you're roasting a peanut. But I'll tell you, they captured the pacing. The laugh track that they added in worked. It's paced right. The animation looks pretty good. The roast of Mr. Peanut will make the end of the year list. It'll probably be the last thing on the list, but it made it. And did you notice Pete Davidson's Super Bowl ad? No, not the one about the fridge. The one for Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Yeah. Pete plays a Transformer named Mirage, who is a silver blue Porsche 964 with a very laid-back Pete Davidson kind of attitude. I bet he gets all the cars. Moon Tower, that's a comedy festival, April 12th through the 23rd. They have announced even more people coming to the show. The new headliners include Leslie Jones, Jenny Slate, Sam B., Megan Statler, Patty Harrison, and Sarah Sherman. Additional acts: Jay Farrow, Randy Feldface, he's fantastic, Matt Rife, Mikey Winfield, Mark Small, Judy Gold, Ashley Gavin, Tone Bell, Lisa Ann Walter, Dane Baptiste, Shalua Sharp. I'm looking at the updated cover art for the Moon Tower Comedy Festival. So in the big print, Trevor Noah, Seth Meyers, Ben Schwartz and friends. Chelsea Lynn? Google tells me Chelsea Lynn is an American YouTuber, actress, and stand-up comedian who began her internet career on the video-sharing platform Vine as her character Trailer Trash Tammy. She's in the big print. Meanwhile, not in the big print, this is smaller print. The likes of Brian Posehn and Joe List and Dana Gould and the Sklar brothers and a bunch of others. Anyway, there's a lot of people on this poster, and it's a really fantastic festival. It's getting bigger and bigger. It's starting to feel a little bigger than Montreal, and I don't say that lightly. There's a lot of people at this thing. Anyway, the Moon Tower Comedy Festival, and it is part of Just for Laughs with the same people that do Montreal, April 12th through the 23rd. There was a kerfluffle at Sarah Silverman's show the other night. This from TMZ. Sarah Silverman's show in New Jersey got ugly before it even started. An elderly black man was kicked out of the venue for protesting an infamous skit Sarah did more than 15 years ago in blackface. The demonstrator is 71-year-old Michael B. Jackson. He bought a front row ticket to Sarah's show on February 4th at the Ocean Resort Casino in Atlantic City. He showed up in blackface. He said his intent was a peaceful protest, but it created a big stir. According to Jackson, about 20 minutes into Sarah's opener, Rory Albanese, Rory decided to address him. He claims that Rory incited the crowd, insulted and bullied him, and asked security to toss him out of the show, despite him saying he didn't want to be part of the routine and sitting silently. Another source who was at the show claims that Jackson was heckling and was given a warning. Then a bunch of guards told Jackson to move into a balcony seat. He refused to move, and he pulled out his phone to record the interaction. The video cuts out things that allegedly got physical. Jackson claims he ended up in the hospital after being attacked by several security guards, who he says forcibly removed him from his seat, carried him into a back hallway, dropped him down face down on the floor, and handcuffed him. A rep for the casino told TMZ Jackson only requested medical attention for anxiety after being evicted from the show, walking to his hotel room and coming back down the lobby. The casino says Jackson presented presented himself as offensive, and they have the right to remove or relocate anyone from the property at any time. The statement added, Ocean prides itself with both a diverse workplace and customer base. According to Michael B. Jackson, says TMZ, Sarah Silverman was behind it all. He said, she had the security goons at the Ocean Resort Casino in AC attack me and rough me up. Bottom line for Jackson, Sarah Silverman feels it's okay for her to wear blackface, but no one else. TMZ adds fans that were there say Sarah addressed the incident when she got on stage, explaining that he was protesting a skit from 2007 and letting the audience know she'd never do something like that today. We're also told that if Jackson was still in the crowd, she would have apologized to him for the skit. Larry the Cable Guy upset some people. He made a joke about Marjorie Taylor Green. He got some backlash on Twitter. Cable Guy tweeted 4 photographs of Green heckling President Joe Biden. Larry tweeted, this pic reminds me of every comedian's ex-girlfriend coming to their show and sitting in the back 6 days after the breakup. That's a funny joke. Some commenters thought Larry was attacking Green. Larry clarified he didn't vote for Biden, and it was not a political joke. He added a fuller response via Twitter. This wasn't a political joke. Unbelievable. Lighten up, some of you. Sheesh. It was about a comedian getting heckled by his ex at the club. She had all the gestures. Some of you definitely don't follow me, or you'd think twice on your dumb comments. Some more information about that Fawlty Towers reboot. This one's going to be set on an elite Caribbean island, according to John Cleese. He said Basil Fawlty will now be running a small bijou hotel which welcomes very rich guests. Much more fun and much more different if it's, say, a Caribbean island or something like that with a small bijou hotel with a few very rich people coming to stay. If you put it in the Caribbean, it becomes very multiracial. People in the hotel business come from everywhere, so you can bring lots of different people together. The characteristic of Fawlty Towers was the pressure cooker atmosphere created in the hotel. In the reboot, Basil Fawlty will be running the establishment hotel with a daughter he's just discovered he had. That daughter played by his real-life daughter, Camilla, who's also writing the show with him. I have tweeted at John Cleese and tried to ask the universe. I'm still not clear. Is this a complete reboot, like the first one didn't happen in this universe? Or has Basil Fawlty sold the original hotel and now he lives in the Caribbean with this daughter? I don't know if we're in the same continuity or if this is a redo. Hopefully John Cleese himself will get back to me. I tagged him on the tweets. GB News host Dan Wooten showed Cleese a headline from The Guardian describing the reboot as, quote, an anti-woke nightmare. John said, they obviously know better than I do what's going to be in it. Maybe they should write an episode for me that they would find acceptable. Might not be very funny, but I'm sure it would really please some of their readers. The idea that it's going to be all about wokery hadn't particularly occurred to me. They're assuming, with no evidence at all, that they know what the show's going to be like and condemning it for that. Cleese is also working on a new discussion show for GB News, which will tackle subjects that get people upset. Cleese said there's a huge argument about wokery, and some of it stems from a very good idea, which is let's try to be kind to people, but I believe it's become far too dominated by people who are frightened of offending people. I think you have to allow offense. Let me jump in there. I saw an article that I loved. The basis of the article was actually about Star Trek Picard. But this is from Engadget, and I think it summed up like what's kind of broken with everything right now. This isn't really about comedy if you want to skip ahead 2 minutes. Deanna Cooper writes for Engadget, it's 2034 and Warner Brothers decides it needs to wring more cash out of Friends. Unfortunately, the hotshot creator of the age decided they want to go in a different direction this time. This needs to be a dark and gritty misery-core grief orgy that better reflects our more rough and tumble times. In the sequel, Rachel is famous for her wellness TikTok that often makes allusions to reclaiming the U.S. as a white ethno-state. Joey lost an arm while filming a movie and is now in prison after a failed heist to pay off his life-ruining medical debt. Monica's got a crippling Adderall addiction and slips away most nights to murder the neighborhood cats and dogs. Everything's shot in an ultra-gloomy vision, and there's no laugh track, jokes, or studio audience, just unrelenting misery. The revival is dense with references to the Friends backstory, as well as the broader Friends universe. Remember that Lisa Kudrow played Phoebe's twin sister Ursula on Mad About You, right? If not, you better get yourself to Wikipedia study up. I mean, it won't be relevant to the plot, but it's something you remember, so clap, clap, clap. I think that totally nails it. Like all these things that keep coming back, but not coming back the way we like them. I digress. Jim Jeffries has a new special out today. It's about stone koalas, his dad's vasectomy, choosing between his hair and his sex drive, and more. Jim Jeffries, High N Dry with an N in the middle there, on Netflix today. It's an hour and 8 minutes. Lavelle Crawford, he's going to have a special on Showtime February 24th. If you don't know who that is, did you watch Breaking Bad? He plays Huel. Lavelle is very funny. This one was filmed at the Joy Theater in New Orleans. Lavelle Crawford delves into the issues of getting older without the shame and with all the sarcasm, from experiencing his first bidet to paying HOA fees. Lavelle Crawford brings playfulness to life's precarious situations that arise as we become more domesticated, and seasons February 24th on Showtime. All right, let's head on over to Gossip Corner. I know you're wondering, is Dionne Warwick dating Pete Davidson? Dionne Warwick has provided an update on her relationship status with Pete Davidson. After jokingly tweeted she was interested in Pete Davidson several months ago, she was walking the red carpet at the Music Cares Persons of the Year event. Somebody asked the 82-year-old Warwick, did she ever get a date with Pete Davidson, who's 29? She said, no. Tig Notaro is making fun of herself after screwing up on Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. Jimmy Fallon had her on and started making fun of her. She was trying to solve a puzzle that read, crashing my blank X blank RCIS, new word, BI blank blank. Now, I know it's hard to follow that. I'll read it to you the way it reads with the blanks. Crashing my exorcist by. Okay, crashing my exorcist by. Tig solved the puzzle and said, crashing my exorcist bill. That was not correct. The correct answer, crashing my exercise bike, which is actually not a thing. Wheel of Fortune gets annoying like that. She asked Matt Sajak, can we edit my guess out? Sajak said no, then Tig dug in and said, that is the answer. I'm not going to be humiliated on national TV. And Sajak said, too late for that. Fallon asked Tig what was going through her head, and she said, first of all, I was thinking that I never imagined I'd be on Wheel of Fortune. Second of all, I was thinking, I don't imagine I'll be very good at this. And third, I was like, well, I'm correct. I wasn't nervous. I was wrong. I was just wrong. If you enjoy what I do here, a couple ways to support the show. One, become a premium subscriber on Apple Podcasts. Go to Apple Podcasts and they'll put the option under your nose for $5. You get the episodes early and commercial free. I know the show's been pretty commercial free lately, but that is going to change. But the early release, I usually put them out about 4 p.m. the day before. The other thing you can do is you can go to buymeacoffee.com/dailycomedynews. Throw a couple bucks in the tip jar. You can join the $2 club, and then every month send the show $2. Or you can do a one-time thing if you want. $5 is a common amount. I will take your money. I will get in my car. I will go to the National Donuts chain. I'll walk in, and over on the shelf, it'll say John M., because I'll have already ordered on the app. I'll have gotten a large iced coffee with caramel and milk, and I will drink it. I'll even shout you out on the show. Buymeacoffee.com/dailycomedynews. Marc Maron, million Marc Maron stories this week. On his own podcast, he said, I'm just saying that anti-woke comics are hacks, and it's an angle. That's really a big unsaid thing, is that anti-woke is the new hack. You've got like-minded people who fill these rooms because they don't know how to assess funny unless it's bullying or unless it's in bad taste. There's no nuance to it. A lot of people who are not innately that funny become comics, and they become good comics if they can figure it out. But this is an excuse to ride the momentum of an audience that's been built on these premises. For a bunch of free thinkers, they all think the same thing, and it's like three things that they poke at, and it's hackneyed. They are the hacks, and they are the groupthink victims. It's really kind of profound. I do believe there are lines now in terms of comedy, and they do function somewhat on political lines. Many of these comics do not see themselves as right-wing people. They see themselves as libertarian, but they're so easily appropriated by right-wing thought. There's these weird tribal lines being drawn, and the old-school kind of progressive nature of sensitivity, but also taking shots at everybody, is sort of falling the wayside of people going, F you, I'm entitled to do this because of this and that, or free speech and anti-censorship. So that ideological piece is a front, and it's enabling a lot of really uninspired, untalented people to perform. It's possible Marc Maron did not enjoy Roseanne's new special that showed up on Fox Nation yesterday. The Daily Mail has some of the jokes. Spoilers coming up. Roseanne said, these people, they have no concept of reality. They've been living in a bubble forever, asking questions which have nothing to do with the real world. What's my gender, Mom? What's my gender? Your gender is get a job. That's your gender. Barr then pauses for the crowd to cheer and then continues, what are they thinking? Ask, what is a woman? They don't know that? The one they're asking all the time, what is a woman? I'll tell you what a woman is. A woman is me. That's what a woman is, okay? A woman is someone who cleans up everybody else's stuff. That's what a woman is. A woman is somebody whose boobs hang down to her knees with a prolapsed uterus from giving birth to 5 ungrateful little privileged bastards that have never had to work for anything their whole damn life. My pronouns are kiss my arse. The old my pronouns are... You might be right there, Marc Maron. So before the Super Bowl, I had an hour, and I decided to watch Marc Maron's new special. I actually wanted to watch it Saturday night at like 9-something, but they didn't post it to 10 o'clock. I was like, oh, come on, man. So I didn't watch it Saturday, but I did watch it on Sunday, and it's not funny. I was entertained. I like Maron a lot. I like the guy. But this reminded me of a monologue from his podcast, a compelling monologue. I listened to the whole thing, but it wasn't a funny monologue. I have left this off my list of top funny things on 2023. So out of the Roast of Mr. Peanut and Marc Maron's new special, which one should you watch? The Roast of Mr. Peanut. Gran Linehan is making his stand-up debut tonight. Gran is the writer of Father Ted, which is a fantastic sitcom, and also the creator of The It Crowd, also a fantastic sitcom. Gran was banned from Twitter in 2020 for repeated violations of the site's rules on hateful conduct. He was recently reinstated. When he was reinstated, he decided to tweet, "There's no such thing as non-binary, there's no such thing as cis people," and retweeted a post saying that not only does transgenderism force homosexuality on straight people, it also forces heterosexuality on gay people. Well, he's doing comedy tonight. He told the British Comedy Guide, "I just wanted to try out a quick 10 minutes without publicity or expectations, but I forgot to send out the memo when it was publicized. I have no real plans beyond seeing how it goes." He'll be at Comedy Unleashed tonight. Happy Valentine's Day. That's your comedy news for today. Follow the show for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your shows. See you tomorrow.
Hello, I am Mark Francis, host of Palace Intrigue, the podcast that delves into the daily drama of the British royal family. These short daily episodes cover the latest news and scandals involving the likes of Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Kate Middleton, King Charles, and the rest. From backroom sources to public controversies, we've got you covered. Whether you're a long-time fan or just curious about the royals, Palace Intrigue is the perfect podcast for you. So join us as we explore the lives, legacies, and dramas of the British monarchy. Subscribe now and never miss an episode of Palace Intrigue.